On this episode of Your City at Work, we're talking with Paducah Mayor George Bray about two significant projects for our community. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Your City at Work. I'm Communications Manager Pam Spencer. There are two significant projects underway in the City of Paducah and McCracken County, and we're going to dig into both of them, Barkley Regional Airport and the City Block Project. Well, joining me today to talk about these two projects is Paducah Mayor George Bray. How are you?
I'm doing great, Pam. Hi.
Well,
how are you?
I'm doing great, and these are projects that everybody's talking about, and we talk internally that these are transformational projects.
Yeah, both of these projects are extremely significant to the entire community, not just Paducah. And I feel like that they're projects that people want to know about. So I'm looking forward to the opportunity to dig in, as you say.
Well, we're going to dig into them, and let's just go ahead and start with Barkley Regional Airport. Let's start on the western side of the county, and you served on the board. Talk about your time serving with Barkley Regional, because you know a lot about what's going on with the airport.
Yeah, I started on the board of directors in 2014, and then soon assumed chairmanship in 2018, and served as chairman for 2 years, and was fortunate enough to be one of the leaders that helped track the $40 million from the Federal Aviation Agency and the Department of Transportation to build our new airport terminal.
Well, talk about this terminal. I hear people say a terminal is your front door to your community. Talk about the importance of this terminal.
Well, the terminal we have now, for those in our community who've flown out of Paducah, they know that it's an older, antiquated facility. The bathrooms are out of date. Right. And so it was time. It was time for us to build a new terminal. And so we are working very hard to make sure that we have a state-of-the-art terminal, something that our community will be proud of, something, as you say, the front door of the community, whether it be tourists or business folks coming in and out of the community, that they have an excellent impression of Paducah, McCracken County and the surrounding area.
And this terminal has been funded by a significant amount of federal funding.
It has. Over $30 million has been funded by the federal government, at least $5 million by the state, and we actually just got some news yesterday that the state was putting some more money into the terminal. And then Paducah and McCracken County are each committed to $3 million each to make up the shortfall and provide the local share.
And I know the terminal, I believe it's scheduled to open in 2023?
It is. You know, we're not sure exactly for the month or the day, but we believe spring or early summer of 2023.
Now, there's also something that is with Barkley Regional Airport. There's a fundraising arm. Talk about, what is it, Blue Sky Alliance?
It's Barkley Blue Skies Alliance, BBSA.
BBSA.
And BBSA is the nonprofit arm of Barkley Regional, which is designed to allow us to receive private contributions from corporations and individuals who want to contribute to the success of the airport.
Is this a new nonprofit, or is it a revisioning of a former one?
We've always had the nonprofit out there. It was called Barkley Advocates. Okay. And about 3 years ago, we decided to repurpose it and rename it. And so we renamed it to Barkley Blue Skies Alliance. So we've always had the shell of the nonprofit out there available for use.
And what do you think that, or what do you hope out of Barkley Blue Sky Alliance? What do you hope to see out of it?
Well, Barkley Blue Sky Alliance is, we have a board of directors, and certainly we can We have the opportunity to attract more people to our board. It's potentially a very large board, but essentially we want to get people in our community involved in the airport.
Right.
We want to find the leaders and the emerging leaders in our community to serve as part of Barkley Blue Sky Alliance in order to attract others in the community, whether it be through a financial contribution or whether it just be a greater utilization of the airport. But these folks are our true advocates for the airport.
Well, another big thing in the news, I mean, we've got all the excitement with the terminal, but SkyWest made a big announcement recently. Kind of walk us through SkyWest's notice that they gave.
Sure.
Because I know it's confusing. There's a lot of like essential air service, a lot of things that probably needs, I guess, definitions put with some of this.
Yeah, so Paducah is an essential air service airport, which means that the federal government subsidizes any airline that is in here to help ensure their profitability, but also to ensure that smaller communities like Paducah always have air service,
right,
because air service is so critical to commercial activity all over the United States. So Paducah being an EAS airport, SkyWest was coming to the end of a 3-year bid.
Okay.
So their service is actually scheduled to be up in January of 2023. Okay. So about 8 or 9 months from now. But SkyWest, because of a lot of factors going on in the industry, most of which are pandemic related,
Right.
There is an acute shortage of airline pilots for the major airlines, and the major airlines come to SkyWest and they recruit their pilots to move up into the larger planes. And this acute pilot shortage, as SkyWest was looking into the future, they realized that they were going to come up very short on pilots in the very near future. So they decided to give notice and end service to 29, excuse me, 29 different airports that they were servicing under EAS.
With Barkley being one of those 29.
Barkley was one of those 29.
Now, what is with an EAS? I guess they have a contract for the EAS. Can they just give a notice and walk away, or what does the federal government do to make sure that these smaller airports still have service?
Their contract with the government says that they cannot leave until another carrier is in this at our airport.
Okay.
So Barkley is in the process right now of out looking for new carriers and having conversations with many airlines. We believe we are one of those 29 markets. Paducah was one of the top 2, 3, or 4. And so we believe that service to our community, given the passenger enplanements as well as the brand new terminal that's going to be opening next year, is going to be very attractive to an airline.
I know I've heard folks in the community, some say, well, this is a perfect opportunity because we have this new terminal that somebody would want to come in, and others are saying, oh, this is a horrible timing. Which way do you look at it? Do you see the positive side of we're so marketable right now?
Well, I think Barkley, it makes a great it's a great airport for any airline. I think that the new terminal is going to provide added opportunity for a new airline.
Right.
I see it as being positive. It was something we did not expect.
Right. No.
But things change. The pandemic has changed a lot of things for a lot of us. So I think our community, we have to roll with the punches. We have to look for the next opportunity, and there's a group of leaders that are very involved in that every single day.
I know, talking with federal government, anything that we can do to try to make sure that we stay at the top of the radar of being
right.
the one that another carrier, or if SkyWest makes a decision to stay, I don't know how it's going to pan out.
I think just about anything could happen at this point. You know, I mean, so I think we have to keep talking to different airlines. We need to uncover every stone and look for that next opportunity for us. And as you point out, that next opportunity at some point in time could be SkyWest returning to our community.
Well, I know with the pandemic, transportation, all sectors, I see items on the news of you can't find truck drivers. So I guess just the hiring and the supply of employees is difficult.
Yeah, the pandemic has changed so many things. You know, employment out there is all really kind of up in the air in so many different roles. Pilot shortage is part of that. You mentioned truck drivers. The supply chain has been affected. All of us know that it's harder to get items. Prices are up. And
Fuel.
so there's just a lot of changes, and I think it's at some point in time we'll return to some sort of a normal, but it's going to be a new normal.
A new normal. All right. Is there anything else that you want the public to know about Barkley and what's going on? Any misconceptions that you're hearing out in the community that you want to
Well, I think
address?
people that fly in and out of Barkley, some have reservations. You know, am I going to be canceled? Should I go on and make reservations, continue to make reservations? I just flew out in and out of Barkley last weekend. I think it's, for right now, it's business as normal.
Business
As usual.
Okay.
And so we will definitely communicate with the public as things begin to develop out there. And I would just ask the public to have confidence in their leaders that we're working hard to find what's really next for Barkley.
What's next? And drive by and take a look at the new terminal. The building's coming out of the ground.
We do. We have the walls up out there. It's still concrete block walls, but it's beginning to take shape. And so, yeah, I would invite anyone to go out and begin to take a look at the terminal as it comes up out of the ground.
That's decades. The other one has been there for decades, so it's new for that area, and it's going to be nice for that part of the county to see some new construction underway.
Well, and I'll just add one other thing. You know, one of the things that we hope is that the new terminal, there's area around the terminal for expansion of businesses.
Okay.
So we are not only building a new terminal, but we are going to be recruiting aviation companies here. So
Yay.
there's, we think it's an economic development engine.
It is.
For our community. It's critical to our community, and we're certainly treating it that way.
All right, well, we wish everything the best of luck with Barkley, and we're so excited to see that terminal open next year and go to the ribbon cutting.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go to the other side of the county. Let's go toward downtown Paducah, and another project that has gets people talking is the City Block project, and that is the development of the lot that is downtown, and the boundaries around the lot are Broadway, Water, Jefferson, and North 2nd. So it's a city-owned parking lot right now, and the project is called City Block. Is this a project that you probably receive the most comments from in the public?
I think so. People, it's a huge project for our downtown.
Right.
And we're going to put a hotel and a mixed-use development on the other side of the parking lot,
Right.
and we're going to redevelop it into a parking lot as well.
And we have a wonderful development partner that is doing the hotel and the mixed use.
We do. Wayland Ventures is a very experienced development firm out of Louisville. They've done other development projects in Louisville, and other communities. They're building hotels around the state of Kentucky. They're doing a project in Frankfort, Kentucky, as well. They've started a new hotel division within their own company. They're going to manage this hotel themselves. So it's a very exciting project.
And they're looking at actually starting construction by this summer on the hotel side.
Well, just to give I guess a quick update, the bids on the first part of the project are due in Tuesday, April 5th.
Okay.
So Wayland will be taking a look at those bids, managing the bids with the potential contractors, and we will begin tearing up that parking lot and starting the first phase of the project.
And the first phase is going to be a lot of grading just to get that parking area smooth, because there used to be buildings in that area, and then the buildings were demolished, parking lot was put in, but the parking lot is very wavy. There's going to be a lot of groundwork to do first.
There's a lot of prep work to do.
Lots of prep.
And there will be a construction fence that's going to go up around the entire city block, and there will be a groundbreaking coming up probably in May, is what it's looking like at this point. Whether it be early May or late May, I'm not sure, but that's my best guess at this point. So things are starting to move, and our citizens are going to see those changes coming pretty soon.
And you mentioned the construction fence. For safety reasons, that entire lot needs to be I guess, fenced off, so it's just the contractor and contractor equipment in there. I'm sure the first thing that you hear folks say is, where am I going to park? How do you address the parking in that lot? Because that lot currently has a little over 200 spaces, and it will have 150 when they finish.
Right.
So, and those will be public spaces, not designated to anyone. It's first come public spaces.
Right.
So talk about the parking, because that's what folks, they're so used to being able to go to that lot.
Parking is the big issue. It's a big issue for everyone because people are used to the convenience of just dropping into that parking lot and visiting restaurants and businesses downtown. So we understand that that's an issue, and so the city is definitely taking steps to make sure that we alert people to where available parking is. We're going to have we're going to stripe new parking spaces on Jefferson. That will make people more aware of where those parking spaces actually are.
Because you can park on Jefferson near that parking lot. It's just there's no lines on Jefferson, so a lot of folks think you can't park there. But I'll see a couple of vehicles next to Broussard's, but all next to the downtown parking lot and the farmers market lot, you can park there.
Absolutely, and in addition, you mentioned the farmers market parking lot. That is certainly available for our citizens. The parking at the Carson Center is available to our citizens. The parking lot at 3rd and Kentucky Avenue, again, granted, it's a little bit farther away than the convenience of that parking lot right at the foot of Broadway, but there are many parking spaces available to folks, and we'll just have to see how things develop here. If parking becomes more of an issue than we really even anticipate, then we'll take other steps. There's already people talking about a shuttle service between parking lots and downtown. There's valet parking is being talked about as well. So I believe that the service will meet the need as things come along here.
Well, I was just searching through some information and just kind of counting parking spaces, and we've had a parking study. Just in the downtown area, the heart of downtown, there's over 500 spaces on the street, and if you look at all the available public lots, it's about 1,000. So we have a lot of parking. You just need to know where it all is and start planning your route differently. Like the lot at 3rd and Kentucky, if you're going to the Carson Center or Market House, that's a very convenient lot.
In fact, it's more convenient, So I think, Pam, change is hard for all of us.
It is, yeah.
And I've done a lot of research on major projects like this, and what I found is that when they began these projects, parking was the big issue in every single project, whether it be Louisville or whether it be in smaller communities where hotels are going in or changes occurring, and people get concerned about parking because convenience is what people like.
Convenience and habit. You know where something is, and you know that you can get there. So.
Right. So I think I really think that the vast majority of people will be able to adjust. We don't like change, but you know, one of the things I've learned is the only constant in life is change itself.
Change. And we talked about this as a transformational project that once it's finished, we're hoping that everybody will look back 5, 10, 20 years from now and say, wow, that changed the dynamics of Paducah for the better.
Well, we anticipate that we wouldn't be doing it if we didn't think that it would. It's going. This hotel is going to be it's going to be a destination hotel. It's going to feed off so many other things in Paducah, the Quilt Museum, the Carson Center. People are going to want to come to downtown Paducah and be a part of downtown Paducah. It's going to help the merchants. It's going to attract more merchants. It's going to spur development not only in that part of Broadway, but even up and down Broadway, all the way up to 6th Street. We're seeing development already occurring, and we believe that this will stimulate even more.
Well, I heard the other day that I think we have 63 riverboat stops this year. Just think of all of the visitors coming off a riverboat, coming to the foot of Broadway and seeing this development and watching this development and seeing the opportunity once the hotel's up. Come back and visit again. So.
You know, the pandemic has, you know, has certainly brought a lot of challenges to communities across the U.S., but coming out of the pandemic is one of the most exciting times that I've been able to experience because people are so, there's demand pent up for people to travel, to get out and go to restaurants, to travel on riverboats, as you point out. So the activity is accelerating everywhere around so many things. The Quilt Museum, we're getting ready to have our quilt show. The Quilt Museum is growing and has big plans for the future. And so there are just a lot of exciting things going on, and this development is going to help spur even more activity downtown.
Well, I know recently you met with the downtown merchants. Are you hearing a lot of thoughts from their point of view of having this activity going on downtown?
Well, certainly, you know, I met with about 65 people a couple of weeks ago, all the merchants, and we had a great turnout. I think the mood that I would sense from that group was, you know, I guess just a little tense as to what's going to be next. How is this going to affect me? And we assured them that the health, from the city's perspective, the health of our downtown merchants is job one.
Right.
So this project, we know they have concerns, but really, I think the attitude I got more than anything was, bring it on, I'll figure it out. You know, I'm a business person. This is my livelihood, and I'm going to figure out how we can make this work. So I was very encouraged by the mood of the merchants.
Well, we want the public to know that once this project starts, and then once we start the build grant, which will be on the riverside mainly, with some projects, downtown is open. Go down there and enjoy all the amenities and the businesses, and then watch the progress.
You know, since I was elected mayor, you know, you encounter a lot of things, you discover a lot of things, but I guess the real constant for me has been just the constant comments from people both in our community and outside of our community about how much they love our downtown, how beautiful it is, how unique it is, and how much they really like to come and visit. And that's something that's not going away. We're going to enhance that. So I'm very encouraged about the future of our downtown.
I am too, and I've lived in this community since 2000, and it's been amazing to watch the growth of downtown and the activity. Because I could say back in the early 2000s, it was busy on the weekend, but it might be a little bit slower during the week. You can go down there at any time of day and you see people walking, you see shops open. It is a lively downtown.
I never drive downtown that I don't see people walking around, weekends in particular.
Mm-hmm.
People love to go down by the flood wall and,
Mm-hmm.
and visit and just walk around. So it's a real thing.
It is
It's
a thing.
absolutely a real thing.
And I do want to address one more thing that we've had a lot of people comment about is special events. With the City Block project, are we still going to have special events? And the answer is yes. Special events will still go on and happen, just a little bit different.
Well, the number one event that people always want to know about is Barbecue on the River.
Mm-hmm.
And the leaders of Barbecue on the River have transferred the responsibility to a new organization this year. The City of Paducah, coming up at a commission meeting, is going to be talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
We believe this organization is going to be so good for Paducah,
Right.
and so good for Barbecue on the River. And it's a husband and wife team that are very excited about taking on the project.
That's great.
They're very organized. They're very dedicated to the success of this event. Certainly there's going to have to be some changes to where we hold it, especially this year, and during the construction of the project. But Barbecue on the River will be held, and it will be barbecue on the river and off the river, so it's kind of a combination.
Hybrid. That's going to be neat.
And there's just so many exciting things going on. We want to drive more special events, music events, and so the new hotel and the new green space that's going to be there with the hotel is going to afford us the opportunity to attract more special events in a manner that our citizens are going to be excited about,
Right.
and proud to be a part of.
Well, we're looking forward to it, and I know Wayland Ventures, their plan is to put some signs down there to show what it's going to look like. We have some concepts that show, but I'm looking forward to watching the progress, because we're still going to have the corner of 2nd Broadway is still going to be a wonderful gathering place. The gazebo corner will still be a gathering area. There'll be a beautiful promenade going down toward the Quilt Museum. The floodwall side is going to be a great green space gathering area. So there's a lot of positive amenities that have been thought about. There was a lot of work with listening sessions, so we didn't want to leave anything out as we were working with Wayland.
Yeah, I think the city block itself, the way it exists right now, the a la carte artist, the gazebo, as you point out. All of these are gathering spaces that are important to our citizens,
Right.
and the people that work in that area. So we've worked really hard to preserve as much of that as we possibly can. The horses and carriage,
Yep.
That's
Still
going to be a
there.
part of our future. So we're working really hard. We're listening. Anybody that wants to come in and talk about the project with myself, our director of planning, our city manager, they want to voice concerns, they want to voice opinions, they want to make suggestions. We're wide open to listen. So I encourage people to reach out.
Well, and episodes like this definitely help get the message out there too of that downtown is open and we have some great projects.
Well, I hope so. I hope so. As mayor, I've tried to be certainly as transparent as I possibly could about everything that's going on in Paducah. I like to say the good, the bad, and the ugly, because change does occur.
Yes.
But I always want to make sure, working with you in the way we communicate with our systems, to make sure that people understand what's going on and they have a voice. So
Yes.
thank you very much for setting this up.
Well, thank you so much, Mayor Bray, for joining us. And any last comment?
No, I just want to encourage all of our citizens to reach out, to myself, my fellow commissioners, if they have comments, concerns, not only about the things that we've talked today, but anything going on. Our email addresses are public. It's public record.
They are.
I get emails, text messages every day from people, and I really, really do appreciate hearing from everybody out there in the community.
And you work hard to respond and be engaging with them.
I
So,
do.
All right, thank you so much, Mayor Bray, for joining us today. And we're definitely going to stay in touch with these big projects. These are exciting.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me today, Pam.
All right, thank you, Mayor Bray. And definitely, if you want to learn more about the City of Paducah and these projects, visit our website, paducahky.gov. Also, visit our YouTube channel because you'll find this video and many more on there. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Your City at Work.